Hello, welcome to another Gunners Town pub podcast. We've just finished watching the Carabao Cup game versus Leicester. Joining me this evening, first time I believe on the podcast, it's Alex. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here and at long last.
At long last. Hopefully, the first of many, hopefully. Yeah.
Yes, hopefully.
Secondly, my mate with the best banner in the Emirates. It's AFC Charlie. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. We've got to talk about that at some point today as well.
We have, yeah, no, definitely, mate. And finally, the Springbok himself, coming from South Africa. How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, bits of me are fine, thank you.
Right. Well, we won 2-0. I'm not sure how many people actually got to watch the game. I had an illegal stream. I'm sure a lot of people had an illegal stream as well. In fact, I'll tell you what. Before we go through the game, we do these live after the game. What's going to happen, hopefully, starting the next game, is this is going to be live on my Facebook page. It's going to be live on everybody's Twitters. It's going to be live on YouTube. So hopefully we can get some sort of reaction straight after the game, straight into your roles if you want to listen to us. Anyway, with the lineup, Leicester made 11 changes. We made 7 changes. I think the standout thing about the changes that we made is we had 5 young kids who'd all been with us from youth level starting the game today, which I thought was good. Now, Charlie, what was you expecting from the lineup today? Was you happy with the starting 11? Was it what you was expecting?
Yeah, it was very similar to what I was expecting, to be fair. I think Arteta's proven already that we just want to keep winning and winning, and these cup games just tick us over. And I think Arteta will look at the season, at the start of the season, and think to himself, we're not going to win the league. Obviously, we're pushing for top 4. But if we can win an FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, or Europa League, it's going to be a good season. There's only 4 trophies available. Let's go for them. So I was quite expecting a strong side, and I was very happy with the team, to be fair. I was glad Pepe got a run out. David Luiz obviously needed minutes. So I was happy with that. I was quite surprised Leno started because I think if something happens to him, we're a bit stuck, aren't we? So, but he was very assured again. I thought the team was good. I was happy with the starting lineup we had, and the bench was very strong.
Yeah, no, the bench was. Paul, going over to you. In the past, in the League Cup, we've sort of experimented with some of the under-23s and some of the younger players. Was you disappointed we didn't do that tonight, or do you sort of agree with Charlie there?
I think it is a good balance. I think there were 5 older players, or 6 older players and 5 younger players, which is kind of what we predicted after the last game. I think that's the right balance, for the youngsters to have a good run around, with a good opportunity to stretch our run and give them a chance to play more games in the season, because let's face it, this is their main opportunity, to get a run around.
Yeah, so going on from that, Alex, I thought the majority of the team that played today are going to get quite a bit of game time. Was there anybody that sort of surprised you with their inclusion at all, or again, like everybody else, you sort of pretty much it is what it was tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty much what I was expecting as well. I thought Pepe would probably play and start Nelson as well, who did very well. I think at the moment, obviously, we're weirdly only a few games into the season and playing already in a different cup competition. So I don't think we can really sort of give game time to people who haven't played all season, i.e. Saliba today maybe could have started, but other guys like Gendozi or Ozil who haven't played for months. I don't think it would have been right. Probably they wouldn't have been up to speed, whereas most of the team today had been involved, from the season and obviously the Community Shield as well. So with regards to that, I think it was pretty much what I was expecting as well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, my thoughts on it really is I didn't think Gendozi or Ozil have got a sniff of getting on the pitch at all anymore. Do you know what I mean? If you're not even...
a big message.
Yeah, you're not going to get on the bench for the League Cup.
I think that's another message he sent there. He sent another message to them too there, isn't it? I think it's quite a big statement. I think a couple of people was expecting to see him, but it's just shown them straight away, not even a League Cup. They're playing all the kids. Not even in the squad.
Yeah, no, not a sniff.
It
Right,
looked like he didn't play any of the people that might be for sale. So maybe he didn't want them to be cup tied.
Well, like I say, hopefully they took Ozil up to Leicester and never left him there. That's my fault. Do you know what I mean? Just leave him there somewhere. Fucking hell. Anyway, right. I wrote a few notes on the game. I don't know what time it was, but there was a nice early save by Leno. I noticed Paul's got a goldfish full of gin there, as usual. All right. Anyway, 16th on the 16th minute, a great move. Pepe should have shot first time. There was a corner. 19th minute, great ball by Saka across the box, missed by two players. I would like to say I thought that was probably one of our best chances in sort of like until we scored. Really, should someone have got the end of that one, Alex?
Yes, it was. I remember the one. I think he sold Albrighton a kipper, and then it was one of those. I think you see them quite a lot actually. One of those, across the box balls where two players seem to be so close to it and miss it. But yeah, I think today we probably didn't have that many clear cut chances, especially not in the second half. But I think we were able to control the game a lot better, which I felt was missing against West Ham. We were able to link the play quite well, especially with Nelson sort of operating in like a half space between sort of linking the midfield and the final third, which I was pleased with as Saka as well. So yeah, that was probably the most pleasing thing for me. But yeah, I think the next thing for us is to sort of probably be better in the final third as well. There was a couple of times where Maitland-Niles and Pepe down the right hand side were probably overcooked crosses and overcooked cutbacks, or they hadn't actually reached the target. So I think that's probably the next thing we need to work on, is actually probably hitting the crosses a little bit more accurately.
Yeah, no, fair one. The next note I've got here, on the 22nd minute, there was a nice ball from Holding, which was just a little bit too long for Eddie. Now, I mean, obviously Eddie scored right at the end sharply. I thought Eddie's worked great. I thought it was bang on today. I thought he was working really hard, and I think he deserved the goal at the end. Do you?
I like him, mate. I really, really like him. He's very young, and he's obviously behind the pecking order, behind a couple of people. When he gets it, and Arteta seems to be giving him his chances. But his work rate and the way he hustles the front and presses is absolutely fantastic. It's what you want from a young kid. Look at the goal last season he got against Southampton. It was all from him pushing. I think there's another one today. He nearly nicked someone. I think he nicked one off someone that went to Pepe and we nearly scored. Yep. I really, really like him. I think obviously he's quite small, and if he's playing up top on his own, it is quite difficult. But he's a bit of a vicious little bastard, I don't know, isn't he? He leaves his foot in, he gets in there. He ain't afraid to sort of have a 50-50 of someone.
Nah.
So no, I thought he was good. He did deserve his goal in the end. And I think this Carabao Cup, they're probably going to give him a good run now. We're going to go Liverpool next round. He'll probably start there, give him another opportunity. If he can keep coming off the bench like he did the other day, he'll be more than happy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I say, I mean, I'll go on to your Paul next. Next thing that I've got on the 26th minute, Eddie and Saka were linking up lovely. Ball went through. Bang penalty for me. It was a bang penalty.
Me too. I don't know how the ref didn't call that, because I mean Saka was literally had his body in front of the defender. He was through on goal. There was no reason for him to stumble and fall over. I think he had a great opportunity there, and there was a clattering of feet and probably a tapping of ankles and leaning and pushing, and I think it should have been a penalty call, personally.
No, definitely. I mean, we'll run through this one quickly. Alex, penalty?
Yeah, Miles.
Charlie, penalty?
1,000,000%, mate.
Yeah, so
VAR in Carabao Cup.
No.
Well, no thing is there. There's no fucking VAR. So I don't understand. Well, I don't understand a lot of shit. Let's be honest. Right? But if that was VAR, we would do that penalty. Yeah. Let's be honest, boys. Do you know what I mean? All right. Okay. Right. Next minute, 28th minute. Nice move. Saved from a shot from Nelson. Charlie Nelson. What was your thoughts on him throughout the whole
Yeah,
game, really.
Well, I'm fairly critical of him mostly sometimes because he was the one years ago everyone was excited about him. We went out to Germany on loan, started off really well, got an injury, and he's so hit and miss, isn't he, sometimes? And he has been given big opportunities. But I thought tonight he actually played quite well, to be fair. I thought he was running at the players, trying to make things happen. He looked quite lively. Sometimes his final product in the final third was a bit poor, get one to cut inside and stuff. But I thought, and overall, the team we've done all right. I think as you all said, we've actually controlled that game. We didn't really get threatened. There was a couple of chances, but I just thought we looked a dominating team all the time, and that was with Nelson a huge part of that. I think Willett was a little bit sort of flashes of good bits and other things. I think it was quite poor, but I just thought we controlled it. It was like a bit of a training game, as hard as it is to say.
It was not. It was kind of odd to see him on the left, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he kept cutting him in on his right, and that shot he had was very unlucky. And another one just after that was really nice height for the keeper, the other one. So he was trying to make things quite impressive.
I've got that as my next note. On the 30th minute, we had a corner and it popped up to Nelson, and his shot just hit it wide. I'll go to you, Alex, for this one. Do we need to keep Nelson and perhaps see how we get on in the Carabao Cup, and perhaps sort of almost look at giving him a loan out the second half of next season, or would you like him to sort of stay here, there, or thereabouts?
I mean, personally, I'd like him to stay. I think he's definitely a very good player, and you can tell he's got a lot of quality. He's very good with the ball at his feet, and he's probably, to be fair, he's probably looking at his mate Sancho, thinking, I could go elsewhere and probably start every week. So that's one for himself. But personally, I think I would like to see him stay and fight. I think the left-hand side is an area where he could make his own. In the next couple of years, with Aubameyang potentially retiring in 2 or 3 years, or going centrally if that's the plan for him. So there's definitely a role for him there. Whether it's going to be this season, whether he's going to start, it's a difficult question. But yeah, personally, I would like to see him stay.
Yeah, no,
I think he needs a loan.
Yeah, like I say, I'm with you, Charlie. I think he needs a good loan deal. Like, I mean,
Premier League team.
Premier League
get a lot of minutes, I think.
I mean,
for him. Sorry, Gav.
Somewhere like Brighton or West Ham. I mean, I think that would. I mean, I know West Ham have got Antonio who plays down the left, but I mean Nelson can play down the right as well. So, but like I say, I'd like to see him in a sort of a decent mid-table sort of Premier League club with a loan where he's going to get the minutes. Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, the criticism of him earlier, when he was first introduced, was that he was a little light. It was a criticism that we had of Willocck and Saka. Most of the youngsters, they seem to be, easily pushed off the ball and everything. But I must say that in the last year, all of those guys have beefed up a lot, and they're physical. They're playing physical games. Saka was, strong on the ball. Willocck as well. Nelson looks like he's put on 15 kilograms of muscle. That they really are growing into becoming quite strong players, which is good to see.
I want to see Nelson be pardon my French, anybody that's listening, like I say, and I want to see him being a proper fucking pain in the arse. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want from a sort of left or right sided winger. I want him to be a proper pain in the arse. Anyway, right, we're going from that. 34th minute, Alex. The ball comes in high, and Leno takes out Luiz. Should Leno have gone for that ball? Should Luiz have got out of the way? Was Luiz sort of doing a little bit of play acting afterwards?
I mean, obviously, I think it was the head injury one where he was on the floor for a while. Leno did a very similar thing the other day against West Ham, actually, in the second half, where he seems to maybe commit to getting balls that are like not 100% on, and then things like this happen because he landed on nearly could have broken his neck on Saturday when he did it. But yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, maybe they need to communicate a bit better, but yeah, Luiz obviously may not have heard him coming, hence he was on the floor for 4 or 5 minutes, and Leno the same on Saturday. So yeah, maybe that's something that Leno should look at, and committing himself to balls that might not be 100% on.
Yeah, no, fair one. Well, I mean, the only note I've got left from the first half is on the 38th minute, they hit the post, and I believe it bounced straight back to Leno. Not a great deal we could do with that. Anyway, half time comes around, and the only note I've got is Dewsbury Hall. Is that a wedding venue in Essex?
It is.
So, do you know what I mean? I swear I went to a wedding at Dewsbury Hall. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is with these fucking players these days where they want to have double barrel names. Do you know what I mean? Are they on like 1p a fucking number or fucking letter on their shirts or something? Anyway, second half started. We'll go to the 56th minute. Pepe shot, rebounded back to him. It's hit the post, and then it went in off a Leicester defender. So I mean, Charlie, it was a bit scrappy, but we deserved the goal at that stage, didn't we? I thought we was all over them from the start. Really.
I thought we come out well the second half. I thought we come out quite sharp in the second half, steps up a gear, and the goal, as much as it was quite fortunate in the end, Pepe has made that. He sort of went to the byline, he beat a couple of players, dropped his shoulder, went on his right foot, which he normally cuts on his left, and even when he put the cross in, the ball come out to him, he's reacted, and he's still got the shot that's unfortunate to hit the post. I was quite happy with Pepe doing that. I think he needs to be a bit more of that beating players, because he can go past them. He's very good at it. I think he needs a little bit of confidence, a bit more confidence to do that, because towards the end of the season, he was one of our better players, to be fair, wasn't he? Like he was doing really well. Yeah. And obviously, with winning coming now, he's had his sort of nose out of joint a bit. He's on the bench. So I was very pleased with his reaction in the second half. I thought he was trying to make the second half, the majority of stuff come down our right through him and make the nice little overlaps and stuff like that. And I was quite pleased. And I thought we would deserve the goal. We did deserve it. And we sort of obviously putting them on the back foot and Pepe run, and that's how we created our goal. So whatever Arteta said at half time, it did work for the boys.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I say, I mean, Paul, it was scrappy, and it weren't sort of like what we're sort of seeing goals wise at the moment. But you want to be getting them sort of goals, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What you can play in the cup, that's the sort of first goal you want, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to take them however you get them. I think we were dominant in the first half. I felt that we actually started the second half pretty slow, and Leicester seemed kind of all over us for quite a bit of it. And I mean, let's talk about Pepe for a second here. I'm just he makes those runs to nowhere, and he often it's him one-on-one with a defender, and he's on the break or something, and he tries to do too much, and he loses it a lot, and it's still quite frustrating. But yet, at the same time, he got the goal. So I think I tweeted, what is it, Pepe? And then about 3 minutes later, he scored, and I was like, that did it.
Yeah. No, fair one. I mean, Alex, like I say, I mean, it was kind of a bit of a mixture today, really, with regards to, I mean, we had sort of two players that play on the right, and one was playing on the left, and then William come on, and it literally had three players who can play in the same sort of position. Has Pepe still got to look sort of knuckle down a little bit more for you? What's he sort of missing to be like first choice in Premiership games at the moment, Alex?
Yeah, obviously, I do agree with Paul. He is rather frustrating at the moment. I think he's obviously a lot of talent there. There's a lot of quality there. It's just, he does try to do too much, and whether we're putting him in the wrong role or whatever, or I'm not totally sure what it is, but there are times where I think he came on against West Ham on Saturday where he got the ball just inside the West Ham half and had a really bad touch and it went out of play. And yeah, today obviously we saw that he's trying to do things too quick, and yeah, it's a bit frustrating at the moment. And, it's his second season now. I'd expect probably some sort of consistency. Yeah, I think that's probably one of Arteta's biggest challenges.
Yeah, no, fair one. 73rd minute, Eddie's lobbed the ball. It was headed off the line, and that was after a long period of sustained high pressing. I mean, do you think that was the key? Obviously, Paul, that's Arteta's way. We played the same way for the last half a dozen games. Was it unfortunate? Could Eddie have done anything more with that, or do you think it was just a bit of good defending?
I think he did a great job. I think the great thing about Eddie, and I agree with Charlie how he feels about Eddie, is that he's so keen, and he's happy to score and do the hard graft. Arteta, basically is shouting, Eddie, run, Eddie, run, throughout the whole game. And he does. I mean, he puts in, I don't know what his mileage is, but it must be pretty big. And you saw just his nature, he goes for all of those little things, and he just picks up whatever he can get. And it's nice to see him finish them. I mean, we've seen him miss a few. That was a great, that should have, I think VAR had a look at that. You probably would have found he'd headed it from behind the line. It looked like it had gone quite deep into the goal mouth for me.
I think the defender just got there, to be honest, Paul. I think he just literally got there. I don't, like I say, from what I haven't seen any replays, but for me, I thought he just got there. But like I say, well, I'm sure someone's rewound it and VAR'd it for themselves. Charlie, Eddie, he was kind of popping up everywhere. He was kind of popping up like, to me at some points, it was almost like, as you said, is it Lacazette? Because he was popping up on the halfway line when we had the ball as well, wasn't he? He was doing the full yard.
He's always involved in it, isn't he? His work rate and his effort. He always gets himself involved. He's always up there for little flick-ons and stuff like that. He does that quite well, I think. And I just think he's only young, isn't he? I mean, he's coming to this team. He's a bit part of it. It's hard getting maybe 10 minutes at the end of each game and stuff like that. But he just needs to keep on doing this. Now 2-2 for him. Do you know what I mean? So he's just got to keep telling himself, like, just be in these chances. If I get the chance, take it. Even like that goal against West Ham last Saturday. For him to hold his run the way he did, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like the Sabia's gone in there. It was very easy for him to just step, but you could see him watching the ball, and he's holding his run, and the ball tapped in. There was no way he could be offside. So I just think he's not going to get bundles and bundles of opportunities, but we're not going to have a striker that's going to be sort of behind Lacazette or Aubameyang, like a top strikers. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to sit there behind them. I think he's an Arsenal boy. Do you know what I mean? He seems to really love it.
He's got to stay as well. He can't go on loan, can he?
No, 100% not. No, he won't be going on loan. And this tournament as well, and even the Europa League early stages, he's going to play. So just got to keep taking these chances, and he does. And every level he's played at, he's scored goals, and that's that's natural as a striker. If you've got it or you haven't, it's not something you work on. You either got it or you haven't. Do you know what I mean? So I'm quite happy with him. I'm happy with his progress. He's only young. And everyone's got to get behind him. Because I know a few people get on his back a bit. I think they go, "Oh fucking hell, shit, Eddie!" Look, but he ain't. He does so much work. He's a different player to Lacazette the way he works. He's much more of a higher press. He tries to nix the ball. He clatters defenders sometimes and gets a foul or a book. He gets booked and sent. I know that one he got sent off. He gets booked quite a lot and all because he does like the little late challenges. He's always trying. He's a bit of a pest up there.
Like I say, I almost think that he was leading the high press today. I think that he was. It was almost that they was taking his lead on that. Now, I mean, we'll move this on. 76 minute, straight back to you, Charlie. 76 minute. Willlock had a shot after we sort of done a little bit of a counter attack. Took a deflection. We got a corner. Quick couple of words on Willlock today.
I can't make my mind up on him, Gav. I think like
hit and miss,
a lot of hustle, a lot of bustle, and he does but sometimes the simple passes and stuff. I think he tries to do a bit too much sometimes. He holds onto the ball a bit too long. You expect him to just lay something off, and he take the extra touch, and the pass is gone. But same again, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you know my thoughts on this. We do need reinforcements in midfield, and we need to get some more people with more creativity. Because he's definitely not that number 10 role that we need who can create stuff.
No. Alex, with Willlock, is he another one that might benefit for a loan deal once we've got sort of the Carabao Cup and the Europa League stages out the way? Can you see him sort of going on loan sort of January, February time, Alex?
I think Willock's probably a bit more. He's one that I would say needs a loan like absolutely. Whereas Nelson, I could see probably, like I said, I want him to stay, more than Willock. Willock is a player who I think has obviously been, in and around the Arsenal first team for 2 or 3 years now, and the fact that people still can't make their minds up on him is probably a good sign that he does need, football elsewhere. I think like Charlie said, actually, I do agree with. He tries to probably overplay it a bit too much, and simple passes he doesn't actually do them that often. But yeah, I think he definitely needs a loan somewhere like Palace or like Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, somewhere he's going to play quite regularly, and maybe at a team that he'll suit quite well. And he's a good runner, and he works hard, but I think he probably does need a loan.
Is he just like I say? I mean, I'll chuck this over the Paul. Is Willock just missing just that little bit of freshness from playing 90 minutes week in, week out? And I know he was the most played player last season, but a lot of them were substitutes, appearance, etc. Is Willock going to sort of learn anything because he's not going to start this season? Even if we don't buy another midfielder, he's not going to be starting. So would you like him on the bench, or do you think he might benefit from, like I say, even he hasn't been abroad yet? I mean, even if we could get him into a nice little German club where he's going to get minutes on the pitch, would that benefit him, or do you still want to see him hanging about?
I'm sure it would. I think we also have to consider, like the homegrown players and the squad, the numbers that we have to keep and the balance that we have to try and make. Maybe he fits in with Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the kind of utility position. He's a guy that you can bring on, if there's injuries or whatever. He performs a reliable job. I mean, today he didn't really do a lot wrong. I mean, he tried to do too much, like Charlie says, but in general, he was one of those guys you don't really notice, but he's constantly doing what he's been.
Well, I mean, we never noticed Gilberto, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he was, like I say, I mean, you could sort of list him as possibly the best sort of defensive midfielder we've ever had. And like I say, I mean, I know
they'd be insulting to. I think it'd be insulting on Gilberto to even mention Willock's name, mate, in that.
Yeah, no, of course. But I mean, it's sort of like you want the position that Willock played in. He's got to make a note. He's not a defensive midfield position. He's got to be noticed, hasn't he? He's got to be noticed.
Box. With his legs and his energy, you want him to get up and down, up and down. He's a young lad. Do you know what I mean? He does do that. When he comes on as well, sometimes he has had some good performances where he's sort of helping us with the press and stuff, because he does do that quite well as well. I prefer him going forward than going back.
He's a useful Charlie. I mean, I can see how you would benefit going from loan, going out on loan. But I do think the season's long. There's a lot of games. It's all very squashed together. And
you made a great point about homegrown, Paul. There's no way he's going to go just.
And the homegrown,
Is that reason? Is that reason? That's another reason he will not be going anywhere.
Right.
Well, I think at the moment, as it stands at the moment, we've got 3 overseas players more than we can actually register. So as it stands at the moment, if we don't get at least 3 players out, then we've got 3 players that are going to be paid to not play for the club, which is an absolutely appalling situation. Now, Alex says you're the new boy. We will give you the chance to talk us through the Eddie's goal. So off you go.
Yeah, so I've actually just seen it again. It's a good ball from Holding. Again, Pepe actually does quite well. Holds it up, waits for Bellerin, who did really well actually. Used a bit of that pace that we saw him do when he absolutely finished David Alaba for Bayern a few years ago. Cut it back, played a really good ball, and it's really weird because it takes a deflection and then the keeper stops and it just expects him to score. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's really weird how he doesn't come at it. He literally just stops. And I tweeted at the time that I was thinking that literally looks like match fixing, because he's just stopped. He's just stopped and expected Eddie to score, and he has. And he does really well, Eddie. Actually, again, like Charlie said before, that hustle that he has, and that work rate and determination to get into the right place. Yeah, good finish.
Yeah, no, Paul. It was, like I say, it was another one of Bellerin, sort of playing the inverted fullback sort of position, And like I say, we've seen him do a couple of them runs, and we've got a couple of goals out there recently as well.
Maybe pulling his pants up, to his nipples. He's taking Tierney to the next level. He's got he had his trousers up under his armpits, and maybe that made him just run faster. And
well, I mean, unlike Tierney, he had the undershirt on. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Tierney would have been Tierney will be short sleeves all season long. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But again, like I say, Charlie, a lot of the good work with the goal was Bellerin, wasn't it? I mean, I know he come on off the bench, but like I say, his pace and the way he sort of was as the inverted fullback, wingback, or whatever you say, it's just creating goals, that sort of scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, and just putting the ball in the danger area, really. That's what we've got to do. And sometimes we don't do that a lot. A lot of times we'll turn around and come back. But you want that to be happening because anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? Even the first goal, we're quite fortunate with a couple of things. When you get the ball in the box, anything can happen there. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to keep doing that, to be fair. And with the goal, and I'll keep mentioning that, Eddie, that goal was come because he took the chance and he's grafted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true, Charlie, because during the game I think there probably must have been 10 or 15 chances for us to put the ball in, to put a cross in, and we didn't. There were people waiting, and there were one more trick, one more little thing to do. I just loved seeing people hit an early ball, and you saw how useful that was with Albrighton for them in the first minute or second minute when he put that ball through for, I can't remember who it was, but Leno made a good save. He was, 15 yards off his line, and he waited and made a good save. He made a couple of good saves. I just wanted to mention that because he gets a lot of criticism. But there are obviously elements to Leno's game that we can be appreciative.
Yeah, I think this. I know it's not on tonight's game, but in general, I think this Leno stuff. I think it's quite disgusting, really, the way the Arsenal fans have been towards him lately. So I think for 2 years now, the goalkeeper position has been something we've not had to worry about. Do you know what I mean? All them years since Jens Lehmann. All them years will be the keeper, and it was always a bit of our Achilles heel. All right, he makes a couple of ricks, but every keeper makes ricks. Alisson makes ricks. I mean, he's done that pass last season that scored a goal. Edison makes it happens. If you make a rick as a goalkeeper, it's going to cost a goal. Leno has been our most consistent player over the last couple of years, and to prove the fact that both the last 2 years he's been one of our player of the seasons in the top three.
Yeah.
And I know Martin
is his second 2 years running, isn't he?
Exactly, and as a goalkeeper, when was the last time we had that? Do you know what I mean? And I just think Martinez, what happened with Martinez, done a great job, absolutely fantastic. But Leno is our number one. People like it or not, he is. Martinez loved the club so much, he wouldn't have left. Do you know what I mean? He's gone to Aston Villa for a relegation battle, and on that fact, he's getting £100,000 a week as well. So he would have got plenty of game time this season, Martinez, and he would have been still involved in us and playing at the top level. And I was just really disappointed the way people have been reacting with Leno, to be fair.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think the way Arteta's setting up at the moment is that you've got the jersey until you make a mistake or somebody else who's taking it off you in training. So, I mean, I don't even think that Leno possibly would have played his first game of the season tonight if Martinez had stayed. But I just don't think he... I mean, you can't blame him to go somewhere to be the first.
I don't think Arteta and the club like the way Martinez have tried putting it on the club a bit, didn't he, in the summer?
Yeah, I think he.
But if you don't go, and I don't think Arsenal like that. I think, especially with Arteta and sort of Edu now as well, the way they run the club, they're not going to suffer the bollocks no more from people, and that's been shown on lots of different cases. So
yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Charlie. I think, like I say, a lot of people's comments on Leno has been a little bit disrespectful to the quality of the keeper that he is, and yeah, I mean, it's just one of those. Can you judge a player that's been voted the second best Arsenal player 2 seasons running with somebody who just played 15 games, even though you can't never knock Martinez for what he did, but it's still like a little bit. I don't know. It just seems a little bit of an in my mouth, really. Anyway, boys, we've won. Who have we got in the next? Is it Liverpool in the next round?
Yeah.
Liverpool probably, yeah. If they can beat Lincoln or whoever they're playing.
Oh, okay. Another tough one then. So we'll probably see a similar lineup
We'll
to
play
this.
them twice in a row then. We play them on Monday and Wednesday or Thursday.
I would suggest that the team stayed up there, but like I say, if you left the coach parked up there for a couple of days, it's going to have no wheels left. Anyway,
we'd also struggle not to field a team against Sheffield United. That's in the middle.
Oh, yeah, no, fair one. Oh, okay. I haven't really looked at that. I ain't looked that far ahead. Anyway, gents, thank you very much for joining me this evening. And like I say to everybody who's listening to this, thank you very much. Hit the likes and follows and subscribes and all that malarkey. And hopefully, if our South African friend pulls his finger out from after this one, it's going to be live after the game. And probably more swearing and shit. Anyway, we won. Thank you very much, Alex. Nice to see you, mate. Hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlie, with the greatest flag in the Emirates Stadium at the moment.
That's a lovely flag, that, isn't it? Even Arsenal Instagram, Arsenal Twitter all made a comment about it as well.
Yeah, no, it's lovely, mate. I posted mine. I posted my Union Jack one with the Arsenal through the middle of that. I posted that off today. I'll be absolutely chuffed if they chucked it next to that one. Do you know what I mean? But I think I'm going to end up in that corner where a camera can't see it. And Paul, get your finger out. Get studio large or lounge or whatever it is sorted out.
Probably
and we'll
2
go
o'clock
live
in the morning over there.
Probably not.
What's the time over there?
Right? I mean, look at the size of his bloody gin glass. Do you know what I mean? He ain't gonna
I
be
got my drink.
hours anyway.
It's
like a gold. I've kept goldfish in smaller fucking vessels.
I drink straight from the skull.
Right.
Jesus. Anyway, thank you for joining us this evening, boys. We'll do this again soon. And another victory for the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.